another episode of HFLE
For all the week.
So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, but not good night. We from the Barbados Association of Guidance Counselors are here to share something special with you right now. With me, we've got two guidance counselors again. We have over here Miss
Joel Jordan, Frederick Smith Secondary School.
And next to her, we've got
I am Shernal Clark from the Darrell Jordan Secondary School.
fantastic. And today, we're bringing something a little different.
Yeah.
We are going to be looking at something called mindset. That is your state of mind, your attitudes, your thoughts about who you are and what you can do. But we're talking specifically about two types of mindsets today. The first type is the fixed mindset, and the second type is the growth mindset. Now, I did not sit down and come up with all of this myself. There's a lady called Carol Dweck, and she did a lot of research, and she's written a book on this thing called mindset, because your mindset can determine your success. So let's take a look now at what this fixed mindset is. So people that have a fixed mindset, they believe that whatever they were born with, that is it. Whatever traits or qualities or intelligence that they were born with, that is all they have. It makes no sense trying to improve on it. If they're good, they're good. If they are not as good as other people in this particular area, they are quite comfortable with sitting there saying, there's nothing I could do about it. If they want to, if they have a talent already, they say, well, I've got natural ability and a natural talent, and I do not need to train or develop it any further because I am as good as I will ever get. And that is how a person with a fixed mindset will think. But on the other hand, a person now who has a growth mindset doesn't think like that at all. They believe that whatever they are born with effort and experience, it can improve.
Yeah.
They can get much better with it. They believe that if they attempt something and it doesn't go well for them the first time, they will continue. It don't see it as something saying, well, I have to stop because I'm no good at it and I'll never be any good at it. No. The people with a growth mindset, they work at what they want to be able to achieve for success. They do not give up. They do not sit down and say, well, that's just it. We have to live with it. No, they work on it. And the people with the growth mindset, they look at the areas where they need improvement because they have a big picture in mind. And their picture is usually success. So right now, with that little understanding of what is the growth mindset and what is the fixed mindset, we are going to now have some discussion on more about what they are, what they can do for you, and ultimately, how you can develop or improve on that growth mindset. So ladies, here we are,
Yes,
fixed and growth mindsets. Tell me, have you all met people who basically fit into either of those categories? And tell me a little bit about them. Have you ever met students or even some adults who are locked into a fixed mindset?
Yes, if I can interject here really quick, jump in, sorry, really quickly. My mind goes to a student, a past student, and I remember having a conversation with him concerning, just as we're talking now, you know, your mindsets, your attitudes, the way how you act, interact, react with people. And he said something to me that stuck with me until this day. And he would have given me, was a very problematic child. But I remember him sharing, and he said to me, I'm going to tell you something. And I've never told anybody, but I'm going to tell you. And obviously, I'm not going to say who that individual is. And yes, I do have permission to speak to you young people about it right now. And he simply said to me, my mother told me, and this is from the day I passed this school, I hate that school. I went to that school. The teachers never loved me, and they will not love you either. Don't take nothing from nobody down there. And when he said those words to me, I had a clear understanding of why he was behaving the way he was. His mindset was already fixed. And sad to say, it was not necessarily because that was what he chose to do. That was implanted in him even before he got to his new school, even before he would have spoken with his teachers, form healthy peer relationships. He approached everything with that same mindset. It will never work, it will never happen because this is what I was told. Okay. So I'm saying that to say, in your everyday interactions with people, you have to be extremely careful what you allow to influence you. And sometimes those influences, they come from your families, your friends, your relatives, your peers, maybe a stranger on the street. But you have to try in terms of this fixed mindset. You really have to try to understand that ultimately those decisions that you decide to make, they will come back at you. True. They will come back at you.
Thank you so much, Joelle. And that's one of those life examples that we really can't really do with, that we can't ignore those because they're there and they're real, you know? Yeah. So thank you for sharing that. You know, if you have decided and made up in your mind that your situation is as bad and you're not doing anything about it except waiting for it to end, that's a fixed mindset.
Yeah.
Now, Joelle, what about you?
Sure now.
Sure. Sorry, sure now.
That's
sure
okay. Now. Well, following on from what Joelle would have said, I think parents and teachers, adults in general, just need to be mindful of children and what you say or what you do around them, because as the parent would have told the child, put it in their minds, the fixed mindset, that anything bad, nothing but bad comes from that school. And sometimes we wonder why children behave the way that they do. But if we go back and we examine our words and our actions towards them, we would understand why they're behaving the way they do. And these fixed mindsets can follow them into adulthood, because then it will create barriers where they cannot move on in their minds. They cannot move on in their lives because they have that one-track mentality that everything is going to be negative. But on the other side as well, you have to be able to have that mindset that things can change, things will change, and so we have to adapt. But if you have that growth mentality, that growth mindset, you will see that there's so many opportunities that can open up for you. It didn't work out this way, well, I need to learn to do it a different way. But always having what people would normally call an open mind, that you will be open for the possibilities of things that could happen, and then you come up with solutions as to how you will handle these things. And that's what a growth mentality is all about.
Right. That is so true. So many times we see and hear of people who have been told things like, you'll never amount to anything. True. Mm-hmm. And they will hold on to that with a fixed mindset. And every single thing that they do that is negative, every time they try something and don't get through with it, they tell themselves that over and over again. You know, that's that fixed mindset voice. I'll never amount to anything. I'm no good at this. I am this, I'm that. All the negative things. But there's some other people who have been told those same things. Mm-hmm. Yes. But they have a growth mindset.
Yes.
And they said, they tell me I'm not going to amount to anything, but I'm going to show them. Yeah. They tell me that I'll never get this done. But with time and effort, I will get this done. and they actually will do things to achieve that success. So since we are here at this point in time, I just want to share the difference between the growth mindset and well, I'm going to start with the fixed mindset first because that's the negative one. The fixed mindset and the growth mindset with respect to how they see failure. People who have a fixed mindset and they try something and they fail, they say that failure or to fail means final attempt in learning, which means I ain't doing that again. I tried it once, it did not work out, I am done. That is a fixed mindset because it tells them, it doesn't make any sense trying because you have just that amount of intelligence, you have that amount of ability, and nothing's going to change that. But a person with a growth mindset who tries something and at first it doesn't work, say, found an interesting lesson. First attempt in learning. So because of that now, they are willing to do it and do it and do it until they get it right, until they achieve that success, until they get the skill and the ability. So that's the difference between the fixed and the growth mindset, right?
Yes, Donna, and it is so true. Even in terms of teachers and being in your school environment, I find that a lot of teachers, they see, potential in students. And not only potential, they really see them effecting positive change even in their adult lives. So what they do sometimes is that they try to push you, they try to gear you and to steer you in the right way. And another thing about the fixed mindset that you have to be cognizant of, receiving feedback. If it is that a person tells you, well, John, I really appreciate what you did. However, what I don't appreciate about it is the regularity in which you are doing it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with what you just did or what you said, but I'm going to ask that, sometimes you give others the opportunity. But persons with a fixed mentality, they say, you know what, all feedback and all criticisms is negative, and I am not going to accept it. So automatically what the individual does is that they're literally lock themselves in a room whereby they have the key. Persons are on the outside and they are pleading with them, they're giving them all of the skills that they need to get the door open, but the person with the fixed mindset just refuses. Why? He or she sees their predicament, their state, as just what they are. It's my lot, nothing can be done about it, why try? But as I said, even your parents, your teachers, they have to remember, sometimes when people are at you all the time, and if you submit an assignment, yes, but you did so excellent in these areas, however, you could have done this. Look at it in the positive light. But if you did excellent in the other areas, then obviously you're on your way now to becoming a professional if you take that constructive criticism from your teacher in a positive light and then actively try to do something about it. So your mentality, that, sad to say sometimes, that is actually the route, the journey that we put ourselves in. So we have to decide that we are not going to stay there, because at the end of the day, anything that is living grows. And if it is that you're not growing, you have to ask yourself, what am I doing that, is keeping me at this stage that I'm at?
Which is going to bring me now to the 4-step process. 4 steps to actually learn how to get that growth mindset. Okay, the first step is to recognize when you hear that fixed mindset voice. If you're about to do something and you hear,
ain't gonna work,
you better stop. That is the fixed mindset. Recognize it and deal with it appropriately. And this is how you deal with it. Number 1, you speak the growth mindset voice to it. Okay? I might not get it right away, but I'm going to get it. All right? And 2, the other 3, you have to recognize you have a choice. You could choose to listen to the fixed mindset voice and do nothing, or you can choose to listen to your growth mindset voice, because both of them are within you. Okay? So practice listening to that growth mindset voice. And the fourth part of this little equation is you then have to take action. You just can't sit down and say, yes, I'm going to get it eventually, and do nothing at all. Right? Act on it.
Yes.
Do things that are going to give you the chance to have the experiences and the practice to have success in whatever it is you are doing. And with that, we're going to look at some strategies that are going to help you get into that growth mindset and stay there. Jewel,
Yes.
I got you right this time.
There you go.
Jewel actually started off the ball by talking about criticism. Take criticism the way it should be given.
Constructively.
All right? Constructively.
Yes.
Act on it and improve from there. Chanel, would you like to share one with us?
Well, yes, of course. Acknowledging that there is imperfection in what you are doing, and when you acknowledge that it might not be perfect, is when you can move on or look for ways in order to improve. So yes, accepting, yes, it's not good at this point in time, because the fixed mentality will say, well, it is not working, it's done there. But the growth mentality will say, okay, it's a work in progress. It is imperfect, but it's going to get better.
Fantastic. I love that one. Okay, Jewel, come up with another one for me.
I would say in terms of discouragement, view your discouragement as encouragement.
Right.
Too many oftentimes we concentrate so much on things we can't change. So somebody says that your head big, your nose too small, you got batty ears, you ain't got no shape, you're so big and fat, you're so thin and skinny, and the list go on and on and on and on. But in terms of moving on from there and attaining to this growth mindset, although you will not be able in many cases, even as adults too, you will never be able to change everybody to your way and your form of thinking. But once they release that discouragement to you, say no. Use it as a stepping stone. Each tumbling block that they throw at you, step on it and go up higher and higher and higher.
Indeed.
So the story is told of the donkey. I would have heard it when I was a little girl. And this is something that I sometimes repeat to my students at school. And once there was a little donkey, and the farmer, how he used that donkey when that donkey was young and youthful. It was strong, it was robust. It could take so many of his heavy carriages from one place to the other. But then as time passed, in the process of time, it got older and older and older. It came a point in time whereby it could do nothing. It could carry no weight. So the owner was now seeing this donkey as very useless. So he decided one day, he tried so many times, could not get it sold, not even for $1. And he decided all he did, it would not die. So he took it up and decided, you know what? I'm going to fix you. He threw it in a well. And when that donkey got down to the bottom of the well, he decided, this is what the farmer did. He took a shovel up of sand and he threw it on the donkey. And each time he did that, what the donkey was down there doing, shaking the sand off and stepping on it. Inadvertently, what was happening there all the time was that the donkey was using that discouragement and using it as his encouragement. The farmer then, in his very last shovel of sand, threw it into that well. And then he turned away. I have him now. I don't have to worry about him anymore. And what he did not know was that by then, the donkey was almost at the top of the well. So that last shovel of sand, literally, when the donkey shut it off, it propelled him now to be able to reach the top. So he threw his hooves on top of the well, he stepped out, he looked at the farmer, and then the donkey went in another way. So that's what we have to do sometimes. When we see situations are not working out, and people constantly throw things on you, don't accept it. You find ways, you find strategies. Connect yourself to the right individuals, because you need to move on from that fixed mentality. I'm just going to stay here and die. I can't do anything about it. Oh, yes, you can. And prove them wrong. You know, when you're
Exactly.
walking your neighborhood, be able to walk and hold your head up high. Not in terms of being pride and scoffish and not speaking to individuals. You maintain a good character. Obviously, the attitudes that you have and that you share, that Sharna would have mentioned to you a little earlier, that's also very, very important. But the way that you face these challenges, that is equally important.
Thank you, Joel. We're going to stop there. You know why?
Yes.
Because now we have 30 seconds.
So smart.
But just to say, stop seeking other people's approval.
And
That could be.
Yes, exactly. Stop seeking other people's approval. And also turn every challenge, like that donkey, into an opportunity.
Yes.
Right? To step up. To step up. Replace the word fail with learning. Right? I did not fail. I just have to be learning this some more.
Yes.
Or I have to learn a different way to do it.
Yes.
There's so many ways that we can improve our
Indeed.
mindset.
Yes.
And get into that growth mindset. So you can tap in with your HFLE teachers, ask questions about that, and we're sure that we will have a whole class with you, online or face to face eventually, on the difference between the growth mindset and the fixed mindset, and how you can get your growth mindset. I have to say, ladies, we are completely out of time, but I still want to leave a challenge. I'm still going to leave a challenge. I want you out there who are listening to think of the last time you attempted something and you didn't do it to the point where you can say you had success. I want you to think of 3 or 4 things you could tell yourself that will now change your mindset from a negative or fixed mindset to one that's a growth mindset that will make you want to continue to learn and to do and to get that whatever that task was, get that achieved, right? And let us know how you've done it by sending your email to bagc@gmail.com or posting a message on the wall of your HFLE teacher in your class. So ladies, I don't even know if we have 30 seconds left anymore. I give you 5 seconds to wrap up. We're going to start with you, Chanel.
You have to cultivate a purpose and celebrate your wins, celebrate your growth with other people.
Yay, I love that one. Jewel?
When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
I love that one. And I'm going to leave you with this. Don't look at the little dot. Look at the big picture.
Amen.
All right? And smile when you do it. That is our session for today. And we're so happy to have brought you HFLE for all.
We.
Stay safe until next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.